This episode may not be suitable for all listeners. Therefore, listener discretion is advised.
That's the funny thing.
Hello, strange ones.
I'm Lisa.
I'm Faith.
And I'm Sharon.
And this is She Sees Weird People.
That's the funny thing.
Hi, ladies.
Hello.
How's it going?
It is going good.
It's hot.
I am very sunburnt all over my body.
Are you really?
Yes, I just got back from the lake today.
Okay, I bet you're all tired.
Oh, yeah. Because I did indeed get ejected off the tube.
Ejected.
Yeah, completely.
I wish I had a video of that.
Somebody probably does.
I know. Yeah.
It was so bad. We were getting air. We were hitting those bumps.
Your family is lake people.
Really, I grew up out there.
Yeah. I know. I go out in the sun for like 5 minutes and I'm like parched.
I need water. And I was like, I'm going to get so tan. No. Yeah, no.
I never have said that.
Yeah, how's y'all's week been?
Mine's been pretty good, honestly. Just worked a lot. Been planting a garden. There's like, for some reason, Antonio, my partner, felt the need to plant 900 million pepper plants instead of like 3. And so yeah, I'm like, yeah, we'll start a whole garden. There's like a broccoli and a tomato plant. That's all we could fit.
It is pretty nice. It is a nice above ground garden. It really is nice.
Yeah, it's a raised bed with a chance to pick a pepper.
To pick a
Pick
pepper?
pepper.
Say that three times.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Pick a pecker. I tell him, he's like, do you see the pepper plants? And I'm like, yeah, why don't you go pick a pepper? And he's like, I'm going to pick a pepper right now. And I'm like, why don't you just go pick a pepper? And so that's what I've been doing this week is picking peppers.
Red or green, baby. Red or green.
Unpopular preference. I prefer red chili, which is in New Mexico, like sinful.
Yeah, I'm green. I like green.
Tastes like I don't care about chili.
Eh.
She really is.
But when I lived in Texas, I did always want like a green chili burger all the time. I guess when you can't have it, you want it.
Yeah. No, that's like Allsup's burritos.
Yeah. Which I cannot eat anything more Allsup's anymore. Can't do it.
She's like, it's been 20 years.
It's been hard 20 years on those burritos.
Yeah, that's how. If you live in New Mexico, if you didn't eat 3 or 4 a week when you were growing up, you had really good parents. Because that's all we ate, man.
I know.
I'm not saying I didn't have good parents. I'm just saying they worked. So
Most New Mexicans eat those pretty religiously, and I feel like we all have like formaldehyde or something. Like it's why we live long in the desert.
yeah, it keeps us alive.
My brother Garrett, he came back from Arkansas and he was getting burritos every day, I swear. He was like, I was like, what the heck?
He's like, my physical preservatives are running low.
Well, before we start this story, I want to warn everyone about Faith's attack cat.
Yeah,
She's a cat that's...
she likes to make an entrance.
Yeah, she made an entrance last week. How did Faith react?
She called him a bad name. I heard it. Pans were crashing, chairs were falling over. It was insane.
It was insane.
It's hysterical, too.
What's that cat's name so we can be on cat watch?
Persian.
Persia?
Persian?
Persian. That's fancy.
Yeah. She is pretty fancy.
Watch out for the Persian.
Dun dun dun. Crash. Smack. Little effer. Yeah.
And so, speaking of watching out for things, what weirdness are we going to see or hear today?
So today we're going to talk about this guy that is not so good. His name is Clifton Bloomfield. Yeah.
I never met a good Clifton.
Yeah. It's already starting out bad. So, Clifton Bloomfield was born in Kingman, Arizona in March 1969. He had a very troubled childhood starting at the age of 10 in 1979, where he had his first encounter with the law involving a BB gun. And I don't know the whole story on that. I tried to find it, but because I really want to know what he did with the BB gun.
Yeah, what is up with like murderers and their pre-BB gun usage? That was like Esther Beckley and the Hollywood video murders.
I can answer this.
Let's hear it.
It's a Gen Xer thing. Because
Okay.
we used to shoot each other with them and laugh.
And now guns are like even like the low-key versions are scary.
I remember my mother specifically saying, "Don't aim at the face."
I got
Don't
shot with the salt gun in the eye one time. No, they shoot salt and they kill flies, but those things are powerful and that hurt so bad.
Who did it? Who shot you in the face?
This one of my friends, whenever I was in high school, he was over and he was all, look at he was all, look at this. I look over, boom. I was like, what?
Oh my god!
It was so bad.
I was like, why are you so salty?
Oh, I was so mad.
So anyway, BB gunning.
Yeah, so the reason I want to know what he did is because he got put on probation until his 18th birthday. And he was also enrolled at a children's home in Tucson for 3 years. So after his release from there, he returned home to his parents. Then, in 1982, he was 13 now, he stole a motorcycle and broke into a church. Already, like
I'm just picturing him driving the motorcycle through the front door.
like, why a church also? That's what I don't understand.
He's like, I'm here, Jesus.
You know, though, if you're going to break in, nobody guards a church all night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know?
But he still got caught.
Well, I don't know that this guy is the sharpest tool in the shed. I'm just saying.
I don't think so either.
He was probably like cruising his motorcycle around the church, and they're like, no loitering.
Motorcycle,
look a
BB
little
gun.
young?
I'm taking the church tonight.
So, but that's not even close to the end of his crime sprees. So, in 1989, Bloomfield and his sister went on a crime spree in Phoenix, Arizona, and that landed him 14 years in prison.
What
What they do?
I couldn't find specifics. It just said they were robbing and like breaking in places. They were just going buck wild.
Yeehaw!
Yeehaw!
Is it hard to find information on this guy?
It really is. Like, I looked at so many different things, and like they're all different. They'll talk about one part of the story, and then you gotta look for another one for the different part of the stories, because he's got a lot of stuff under his belt.
Yeah, this isn't the worst of it, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna... And it was his sister, did you say, that he went on this crime spree with?
Yeah.
Sister? Back of the motorcycle. BB guns.
Some genetics, huh?
The
Sounds like
suggestion
me.
box from the church, and they're down the highway.
It reminds me of me and Clinton, my Irish twin brother. Not that we ever went on crime sprees, but
Oh, like hell you didn't.
We would skip school and take the Grand Am and like ramp it by the river. Like, with muffins and coffee. Real criminals.
Like I said.
We paid for the muffins, okay?
And I paid for the car. You paid for the muffins, I paid for the car. There we go.
So he was released in 2002, and now he's 34. And it seems that his crimes were over. That is, until October 24th, 2005. So he laid low for a little bit. Didn't do anything. And then it was just a regular night. Clifton went to eat at a Fuddruckers restaurant in Albuquerque. And as he was leaving, according to Clifton, 37-year-old Carlos Escobar began to hit on him. As Carlos was gay, Clifton, not so much. But Clifton went along with it anyways and went back to Carlos's apartment. In the apartment, in Carlos's bedroom, Clifton attacked him using Carlos's t-shirt, and he wrapped it around his neck, strangling him to death. So he obviously did not like him hitting on him.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I just looked up the victims, and Carlos was 37.
Yep.
That's some hateful stuff right there.
Yep. He then went on to search the apartment looking for goods. Guess didn't find anything really good, so he left. And the body was found a couple hours later by the landlord of the apartment.
Mm-hmm.
So that was his first one.
He's young. Like 37 is still young.
Yep.
Golly.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't be, when you're dating, you can't be too careful. Can't be too careful. This is why I'm always telling all of the girls, did you check his background? What's his last name? What kind of car does he drive? What's his blood type? Did you get his DNA? I mean,
Oh, and then
oh,
I remember a long time ago when we first started listening to the Crime Junkie podcast, and they talked about those if I go missing files, and I was like, I don't even have one. I just tell you, if I go missing, it was this cat.
You got an attack cat too?
No, I meant like a human being, but that's hilarious. God dang, cats are feral.
if I die, will my cat eat my eyeballs?
They actually start at your nose. I read this. I don't know where.
Why do you know this?
I don't know.
Like, I live alone, I got a cat, it's time to Google.
Yep. I have that fear now that I'm gonna die and my cat's gonna eat me, and she's gonna start at my nose.
Sometimes my dog just stares at me when she's hungry, and I'm like, is she gonna eat my face?
Not lick you to death.
Yeah. Okay, so
Okay.
poor Carlos. Yeah, so be
Young?
careful.
Yeah, don't hit on Clifton, all right? That's
Mm-mm.
not
He's
a
not
great
even-
idea.
He's not particularly attractive.
He's not cute.
No.
I'm a little judgy there, but
Well, when
I'm
you
not-
murder people, I'm gonna judge your hairline.
oh yeah. So on October 27th, just 3 days later, Clifton was walking and saw a door open. So of course he went into it. Yep, that's just what you do, right?
Especially on October 27th.
I'm gonna go. You're just walking down the street and there's a door open, and in your mind, it goes to, oh, they left the door open for me.
Talk
Yep.
about an opportunist, huh?
For real. He then began to rob the house belonging to 81-year-old Josephine Selvage. So she was a little old lady by herself. She had,
Aw.
yeah. She had woken up and started attacking Clifton, but was overpowered sadly, and he then strangled her to death. So I guess strangling's his thing.
Yeah, that's his modus operandi. Just like, what is that even like to attack somebody of that age where they have no chance? Like, good for you, you pathetic monster.
Honestly.
that's a theme that goes on in the cases that we've covered so far, is that it's always the most vulnerable people. None of these people are like, I'm going to go and take the MMA boxer out. I mean, if you want to prove to me you're a BA, do that.
Yeah.
If you're attacking little old people and
Stealing their stuff.
yeah, and people who are mentally disabled or drunk people or whatever, you're just a POS. If that's the kind of people you attack,
Yeah, people that can't protect themselves. And it makes me think of how a lot of serial murderers and just prolific criminals, how they hurt animals and younger children when they're kids.
Yes.
Yeah, because they can't defend themselves.
And that's so they take all their rage out.
That's what I mean. Go attack an MMA fighter. See how that works for you.
That's the funny house.
So he was not caught for this murder, as the police could not connect anyone to it. So he left no DNA. They couldn't figure it out. And, well, he did leave DNA, but they couldn't track it to anybody.
Oh, okay. So they have a DNA sample, but no match.
Yeah. So then in December the same year, Clifton approached an elderly couple in the village of Los Ranchos. And he forced his way into their garage, where he would go on to steal a stack of cash. But luckily, this the couple was not harmed. So,
Isn't that weird?
right? Like, I don't understand. He's already a murderer.
Maybe he actually needed the money? I don't know.
Yeah. So, but later that day, he bought a ring and proposed to his then girlfriend. And I don't know if she said yes or no, but she does not come up anymore in this.
Okay.
But somehow he ended up in Texas, where he was arrested for the burglary in Los Ranchos. So they brought him back to New Mexico, where he pleaded guilty and he served 18 months in jail.
Okay, so this is in the 80s, right?
Yeah. Well, 2000s.
Oh, so we're up to the 2000s. Where did he first? What state was he in when he was first incarcerated? Was that in Arizona?
I'm not sure. I think
what I'm asking is, somewhere along the way, there had to be DNA samples somewhere, because this guy's in and out of prison. He's doing stupid stuff.
Maybe they're just not running it.
Yeah, they're not connecting it. If it's in different states, that makes sense in the early 2000s, because they're just barely getting to where they were running everything.
Well, and something else weird about that is that I read, when you let us know what story you were going to do, I read that he's part of the Aryan Brotherhood. And so he's like a known criminal. That he just has things that make him stick out to law enforcement. So it's interesting.
Well, and he skaves by, like, all the time. He just doesn't get caught for the full extent. Like, he went to jail 3 times. Nothing.
Yeah, our criminal justice system is interesting in New Mexico. Like, I can never tell what they're going to do. The right thing or the politically correct thing.
So, now, after his release in 2007, December 4th, he broke into the home of 79-year-old Tak Yi and wife Pung through a sliding glass door in the back. This is where Tak would try to defend his home against Clifton, but was overpowered and beaten to death. He then went on to kill his wife, but Clifton claims that it was a friend who did it. So he's trying to say that someone else was there and he didn't kill the wife.
Did he say a specific friend, or did he just say, "Oh, like one of my Aryan buddies did it"?
Yeah, he just said one of my friends.
Well, these are 79 and 69-year-old people.
Tak and Pung?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so sad. Okay, and so there was, the first 2 were in the same year, and then this
This is in...
third and fourth murder is in 2007.
So he takes a break, right?
Well, because he was in jail. He got 18 months
In the big house.
Yeah.
for the burglary of the stack of cash.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So, yet he wasn't caught for this, but 2 magazine salesmen were arrested for the crime. And I couldn't figure out why how they were connected and why they arrested them. But they did
must have been at the house.
Yeah, somehow. But they got released when Bloomfield was arrested, but that's still not going to happen for a while.
Okay. Yeah. They're like, here, have your Vogue, and you're under arrest. Drop the magazine.
That's the funny sound.
It's a lot of information.
Yeah, he went to the village, or like he was in Albuquerque, and then he went to the village,
Los Ranchos.
Los Ranchos, yeah, and then he went to Lubbock. That's where he was in Texas,
Yeah.
and now Albuquerque.
Okay.
Okay, and so I guess he takes a break from his little crimes. He worked in 2008. He worked as a roofer, and then later he appeared as a movie extra on the set of Felon.
Felon?
Yeah, that's what it's called.
That tracks.
Yeah, so it's a movie that came out in 2008, and he was a man in a prison jumpsuit. Yeah, so the irony here is,
Yeah, I really enjoy that.
yeah.
Yeah, Albuquerque turned into quite a movie.
Like a little movie metropolis.
It did. I mean, you could go down there and.
Well, after Breaking Bad, I guess it kind of put the area on the map to some degree.
I just think about the producers seeing him like, yeah, he looks like a criminal. He could do it.
Just a disclaimer: if you can hear me eating French fries, please just say.
Yeah, thanks for all the gross mouth noises, Lisa. We appreciate that.
I needed a little snacky snack.
But Clifton claimed that he played as an extra on Breaking Bad, but there's not any proof of this, so maybe he was just trying to get some of that ego boost.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or maybe he just ran through the set when they were filming.
Yeah, I'm an extra.
They're like, we never paid him. He's like, oh, I'm in there all right.
You go to this little part in the scene, and you can see him running like the back of his head.
Just sprinting.
That's
I've heard
me.
people say that Breaking Bad was like the best series ever made. I've heard people say, I've never seen it.
That's really good.
But I've heard that it was really good. So if I was going to pretend to be an extra, it would be there.
No, it was amazing, honestly. Like, pretty incredible. It's up there with, like, Game of Thrones and The Sopranos. Like, people liked it that much.
That's the funny sound.
So that brings us to his final murder, the one that finally gets him caught. So we'll start with a little bit of the background on the young couple. So their names were Scott and Catherine Pierce. They had been together for 3 years when they bought a house in northeast Albuquerque, their first home. They bought it from a man named Manny, and this name will become important in this story. So remember Manny. So they just got married, and Scott worked as a nurse, and Catherine says that he was built like a football player, but was one of the nicest men you'd ever meet. So
Like a big teddy bear.
yeah, exactly. So, and this brings us to Clifton, who was colluding with a man named Jason Skaggs. They met while he was a roofer, because Jason Skaggs is a roofer as well. So they colluded to murder a man named Manny. So Manny was the man who owned the house before the young couple and had an issue with Jason. Apparently Manny had slept with Jason's wife. So he was upset about that.
I know that Shelley and I have had a lot of conversations. She's my bestie. I have never one time has it ever come up that we should kill someone.
Yep.
I don't know. We've had conversations about that. Like, how would we dispose of a body?
Hypothetical conversations are a lot different than, hey, dude, you want to kill my ex? Or,
Sure, dude. Let's do it.
I'm like, I've had that conversation too.
and if I had ever thought that there was a serious conversation with anyone, I'd have been like, okay, we're getting you a little help.
I need somebody help.
Yeah. No, I don't know. Depends on the murder.
I guess I don't understand this mindset where you just sit around and talk about taking someone's life and planning burglaries and murders and stuff like that. I don't understand it. I mean, I don't.
Yeah, no, it's pretty twisted, but usually when people think like that or, show those behaviors, it's learned. And so they might have grown up around violence or criminal activity.
Just what they know.
Yeah, how do you find 2 or 3 people in the same place thinking the same way?
I have to tell you,
it's foreign to me.
as a therapist, when I work with kids, and this, I don't mean this to anyone in particular, but the parents are the really hard ones to deal with. It's not the kiddos, it's the parents that are hard to change. Like, get them to, instill new things and change their routine into something healthy and, substance abuse and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Sorry, I choked on a fry.
Like I said, gross mouth noises, thanks.
But yeah, the way, that's like a mix of nature and nurture right there, and it matters a lot.
Yeah, so Jason was an ex-Marine and a former truck driver, and he had a minor criminal record. So he wasn't so great himself. So now on to the murder. It was the night of June 28th, 2008. Clifton broke into the home, allegedly for Jason, and first to see him was wife Catherine, who thought it was her husband, Scott. And she said to the tall man standing in the dark, "Scott, stop messing around." She was thinking it was him, trying to play a joke on her. And that's when Clifton yelled, "Get down on the ground," and yelled, "Where's Manny?" That's when Scott came rushing in, wrestling with Clifton for the gun. And so
nobody knows what the hell is going on here.
no. So there's a man in his house pointing a gun at his wife, And so Clifton did an interview 1 year after his arrest, and he stated that you tell a person you have a shotgun in your hand and they continue to grab it. So like his attempt of placing some of the blame elsewhere.
Yeah. Which he's already done. Okay, so where's Manny?
Manny moved away. He's not living there anymore. He moved to a different house.
Oh, so Scott just got short end of the stick.
Mistaken
Yeah,
identity.
So Manny was the homeowner before them. So they bought the house from Manny.
Oh my God, these guys are idiots. These criminals are idiots.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to kill someone for whatever reason, why isn't your dumbass looking up?
Yeah.
Yeah, just again, hypothetically, if I were to commit a crime like that, I would be very particular about my steps and who it was. I wouldn't just be like, oh, my victim's not here, now I'm going to murder everyone.
That's, see, that tells me that this was just something to do. This wasn't
A normal day for him.
It just popped into my head was I was kind of wondering, because he was part of the Aryan Brotherhood, I wonder if some of these were race-based, like Tack and Pung, Carlos.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe that, that's because
And these are just the murders that he's getting caught for. Who knows how many other people he has.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't sound like the reason he's going out and doing it, but I wonder if, like, you know how he let that other couple live?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just curious about his motives.
And I don't, it's hard to tell because when people are in prison, they have to kind of choose a political kind of thing.
Yeah.
Are you with the blacks? Are you with the whites? Are you with the Mexicans? I know they all have fancy names for it, and it's gang kind of things.
But it's a survival thing in prison.
Yeah, so if he's already been in, and he's probably had to be part of something like that, that's not helpful in his future discoveries. Or
Yeah.
you don't know if it was, like you said, you don't know if it was race related or not. But
Seems like he didn't care. To me.
He really doesn't. He doesn't care about nothing.
Yeah, and I'm sure he had more violence instilled in him in prison, and I'm sure he was institutionalized to some degree, so he probably wasn't handling the real world well, which is not an excuse, but an add-on of circumstance, most likely.
Yeah. So the gun goes off, and Scott is laying on the ground. That's when the man flees. So that's when he runs away. But not before dumping out Catherine's purse, his attempt to make it look like a robbery. So he was trying to throw everyone off. So Catherine rushes to his side, calling 911, but sadly he would die that night. No, just yeah. And they were just 6 days they had been married. He was 41 years old.
They've been married for 6 days?
6 days.
That's so sad. You're like starting your life all excited.
Ooh, this little fucker makes me mad.
So Catherine became a widow, but not only that, she became the prime suspect in the case.
Oh my god!
Yep. So.
Well, and you know what they say, it's always the wife or the husband.
Yeah. Well, and they said it was weird that her purse was dumped out, and then so they were just confused, and they were like,
Sounds circumstantial.
yeah. So
They probably always have to clear the spouse though.
Yeah, that's the first person. Mm-hmm. So the Albuquerque's homicide detective, Mike Fox, stated in an interview, "She actually shocked me how well she was able to put it together. She was calmer than he expected." So, because she was calm, that made her a prime suspect. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Well, was she a nurse?
No, I'm not sure what she did.
Well, either way, people handle grief very differently.
Mm-hmm. Well, and she was probably in shock while they're interviewing her, you know?
Mm-hmm. I would be. I think. I don't know how I'd be. It's never happened to me, actually.
I don't. Yeah, you can't know. I know some people who, when someone in their life dies, they hold it all in, and 3 months later they're in a ball on the ground. And some people fall apart before it happens if they know it's going to happen. I mean, there's just so many ways to cry. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and there is such a thing as being stoic. Like, some people are not good at emotional expression. Okay, so this poor woman becomes the suspect.
Yeah. So in one of her interviews, she tells them about the man yelling, "Where's Manny?" And she knew who that was, as that was the man that they had just bought the house from months earlier.
Mm-hmm.
So, but Manny was known to the Albuquerque police, so all focus went on him. So she got it off of her finally.
So they focus on Manny because the police know about him, but you have this guy out of prison in the Aryan Brotherhood, and they're like, meh.
No. So Manny heard they were looking for him, so he called the police and offered to come in and help. So he was like, "Hey, don't be looking for me."
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is a twisted web.
Can you imagine Manny when he realizes he's the target?
Yeah. He's like, hell yeah, I want to go in.
Well, and then that just sucks. Like, this whole thing plays out that way. Manny was the target, and poor Scott Pierce.
He was just an innocent victim, just living in his home.
Right. But, if they didn't get Manny the first time, maybe they're coming for him again.
Yeah.
I'd be in that cop shop. I'd be in there. I would be in the police station first thing and be like, hey, I'm the guy they were looking for.
Witness protection.
Definitely, I would do that.
At least he used to live and kill the people who lived there anyway. That's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in the interview, they asked the question, who would want to kill you? And he replied, Jason Skaggs is the only one I can think of.
Ooh, so Jason is Clifton's partner in crime, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So,
was Jason present?
No, he wasn't there.
Okay. All right. He was just the guy
that told Clifton, and so he's like, yeah, you could do that for me, brother.
And Clifton's like, I'll do it.
No sweat on me.
I got a BB gun.
Yeah, what kind of gun do you know? Is he still using a BB gun? Is he carrying around like a pistol or a rifle?
A shotgun. Didn't he mention a shotgun earlier? When he was talking about this guy, the guy wrestling him around, I told him I had a shot.
Oh, yeah, he does say, do you have a shotgun in your hand? And they continue to grab it. So it was a shotgun.
Okay.
I thought I heard you say that a while ago.
Yeah. So they worked at a roofing company, Jason and Manny, and so he cheated. He slept with his wife, cheated, so they have that problem. And on July 1st, 2008, Clifton and Jason were finally arrested for the murder of Scott Pierce. So they brought Jason in, and Jason snitched on Clifton. So then they brought Clifton in. After the arrest, they matched Clifton's DNA to the other murders, and he admitted to all of them. So he's like, yeah, I did those.
Yeah, he doesn't even care.
Mm-hmm.
There is this feeling I get from this guy that maybe he's not all there.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, like I don't know, it just seems like certain facets of a personality that are usually there or not there. Like of course, a lack of empathy, a lack of awareness for like how important human life is. But his thinking patterns don't seem super complex.
Yeah, like his reasoning skills are just very primitive. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't seem like he's not like some master criminal or something. He's just
he's spot off. He's not spot on.
Just slightly. So he then pleaded guilty to all counts to avoid the death penalty. He also stated that he wanted to avoid a long trial. So he was like, I don't want to do any of this.
Yeah.
So he was sentenced to 195 years in prison. No. He was not getting out.
If he was eating those Allsup's burritos, he might live that entire sentence.
It's true.
After the state repealed the death penalty, the Attorney General says Bloomfield changed his mind because he wanted to go back to trial. I don't know why, but
he wants, if he can't get the death penalty, he's going to probably, I would guess, plead not guilty secondary, so he has a chance of getting out of prison in his lifetime. That's what I would think.
Yeah, but nothing came of this, and he still remains in prison. So.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
Enjoy your stay, Clifton. I wonder which prison he's at.
Okay. I wonder if it's in New Mexico.
I think it would be, if it's not a federal offense, he would be in a state prison, so probably Grants, I would think. I'm gonna look it up.
I know, I'm looking it up too. I'm like, where is this man?
We need to know.
I think though, just because we live in this state, it's like extra interesting to know where he is. But either way, that's what you call a serial murder. Like, spree killings happen over a short amount of time, but that was over a few years. So he really is just a serial murderer.
Yeah, he does not care. He's, all right, you need me to kill him? I got you.
Yeah, I googled it and I did find what you said about him going on trial. I also found a story where, you know, whenever I found out which story it was, it says last year. Okay, so 7 years ago. A privately run Northeast New Mexico prison was home to one of the state's most notorious serial killers, Clifton Bloomfield. The 49-year-old was sentenced to nearly 200 years behind bars after he murdered 5 people in Albuquerque 10 years ago. Bloomfield was being housed in a cell block that's reserved for violent inmates who pose security threats. In July, Larry Barker.
Yay, Larry Barker!
It's like New Mexico's. What is that reporter? He's Latino. He had shoulder pads.
I can see his face. I don't know his name.
It's on the tip of my tongue. Mom, he was like in New York. He was a reporter like in the 80s.
Dan Rather?
Okay, it'll come to me. Either way,
Hey.
it says Larry Barker investigation showed never before seen video the night Bloomfield got out of his cell. And it was when that riot broke out.
Ooh.
And one of the state's correction officers helped him to get out of his cell.
Oh, shit.
He unlocked it and let him out, and Bloomfield like jumped the guard, stole his keys, and let everyone out.
Oh, wow.
This was in Clayton, New Mexico?
I didn't see. I just know that they house. It doesn't say. Faith is right. It's very hard to find info, but
Northeast New Mexico Correctional Facility is
so Grants.
Yeah, Grants.
Grants, New Mexico.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had talked about covering the New Mexico prison riots at some point, so y'all get ready.
Yeah, I know a little bit about that story, and it's pretty freaky.
Pretty awful.
Can't wait to hear it.
Yeah, I know there's not a lot of info, but I would have loved to hear about Clifton's childhood.
Yes, because he was already at 10, getting in trouble with a BB gun. Like, I wonder what happened before all this. But how he got away with all these crimes for so long is beyond infuriating. Like, he's just chilling, killing all these people.
Oh, yeah.
Or they did. Well, Catherine, I read a story that she filed a case, and she did this big old thing about the states not running the DNA, them having such a backlog on it.
Yeah, that's the thing in a lot of states. And the other thing that occurred to me just now when you were saying that is that federal and state are different. So say he got in trouble and it's a felony, so he's going to get indicted federally. And so those are separate, aren't they? Like state logs of prints and then like CODIS. Yeah, like sometimes different governmental levels don't communicate with each other.
Yeah.
Anyway.
There's so much more information, like different things that happen on the nights, but I just wanted to fit in the crucial parts. But I hope everyone enjoyed it.
No, it was really interesting, and I don't like a lot of questions usually at the end. I'm like, what is it? But I don't mind it on this one because the information just isn't there, and it kind of leaves you to wonder, like, what was his childhood like, and what was his relationship with his sister like, that they went on a crime spree together, and
Yeah.
When you sent me the name, the thing that I looked up right away, because I'm me, was like if they had any mental health information on him.
Mm-hmm.
And the only thing that I could find was that he was on it's hard to say. Mesoridazine. Yeah. It's in the phenothiazine class, so I could say that part. But either way, it's used in treatment of schizophrenia. And it doesn't say that that was his diagnosis, but it's an antipsychotic, which tells me bipolar, schizophrenic, schizoaffective. You know, so he's got something to help his mind from going off the deep end.
Obviously, he wasn't taking it all the time.
He was all over the place, doing whatever he wanted.
Yeah, he was. He would have been a terrible father, and I just want to throw that out there because it's Father's Day, and we should say
Oh, yeah, that's right.
to all the daddies of the world that are there for their kiddos.
Happy Father's Day, Jack the Snack. You're a really great dad.
Happy Father's Day, Antonio.
Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day, Father.
Yeah.
It's like when you keep a voicemail forever, you know, just so you have someone's voice on there, and now they can just have us saying that forevermore. Yeah, love the story. We came.
We saw.
We heard some really weird shit.
See you
And
next time.
I ate a whole basket of fries from McDonald's during this podcast, so be impressed.
Enjoy that. Bye.
Bye.
I'm Lisa.
I'm Faith.
And I'm Sharon.
Join us next time on She Sees Weird People.
Thank you so much for listening. If you have a weird story to tell or a case idea, contact us at weirdpeople@sheseesweirdpeople.com. Be sure to hit that subscribe button wherever you get your podcast. You can find us on Instagram and Facebook at She Sees Weird People Podcast. This podcast was written, hosted, and produced by Sharon Metcalf, Faith Donovan, and Lisa Metcalf, and produced by Sedona Brave Studios. Keep it real, guys.